Hi guys, it's Gerald here. How you doing? Hey, some of yous may know, some of yous may not know that I went up to Auckland last week to give Ubering a go up there. Excuse me. I always cough when I do these longer videos. Anywho, so I went up there to see what it was like, Auckland being such a way bigger city than New Plymouth, thinking that, hey, you know, there's got to be money to be made. But boy, was I kind of wrong, in a sense that I don't know the area. Let's just talk about the subtle differences. The riders up there are, well, they're not different people, but they all jump in the back. Here in New Plymouth, it's probably must be, you know, smaller city. Quite a few jump in the front seat. It doesn't bother me where they sit. It's just that's something that I noticed. Wait times, you turn up to pick them up, and they're usually waiting on the curbside. There was 2 rides that I had to wait for, and one of them was I turned up and I could see her walking up her driveway. And the other one was I pulled up the driveway and they came out and said, just give us 2 minutes, I'm just getting someone organised. Other than that, jeez, Louise. Anyway, other than that, the wait time, yeah, it's pull up there at the gate. Usually the pickup times are really long. You know, we're in New Plymouth, it's your longest pickup time is probably 7 minutes, or on average 7 minutes. There it's 30, 35 minutes, 40 minutes to get to your pickup. So they got a lot more time to be ready, I suppose. They don't cancel when the pickup's a long time. See, here in New Plymouth, if your pickup time's anything over 10 minutes, that rider's basically going to cancel and try to get a quicker one. In Auckland, no cancelling. Traffic, wow, this is the biggest killer, the traffic. So I had I think it was about 9.7 kilometre trip, and it was 49 minutes long. That hurt so much. You know, the traffic up in Auckland is just diabolical. There's that many sets of lights, the blocks are small, and there's that many sets of lights that when your light goes green, you only get like 3 car spots. And because then the other light ahead goes green and the side streets go green, and they all pile in and fill up. So, yeah, Monday, Tuesday, I thought I'd do the CBD, thinking, hey, that's got to be where the money is, but no. Queen Street's been shut down to the public. Only buses are allowed up Queen Street, so that makes navigation a little bit difficult. So those 2 days were kind of a flop. Very short rides and very, very long in terms of time. So I decided let's hang about, and I went to Auberstein, which is in Flatbush, which is South Auckland. And I hung around there, Flatbush, Auberstein, Papakura, see, I can't even remember the places. Oh yeah, a bit of Papakura was in there, Manyarewa, those areas. Just kind of stayed concentrated there, and that's still a big area to try and cover. And the thing is, in Auckland, when I drop someone off, I'm like, where am I? Like, how do I get to back to, you know, it's like shivers. So I had my phone sitting just below my tablet, and I would have that always set at the Auberstein shopping centre. So as soon as I drop someone off, I'll just hit Google Maps, navigate me back to there, and 90% of the time I'd pick up a ride before I even got there. So that was Wednesday and Thursday were probably my best days. Not that they were any good. Like, I mean, absolutely rubbish. And if you hang on near the end of the video, I'll show you some way bills which is the rates that Uber charge. And I've got a way bill from up in Auckland, and I've got the latest way bill from here in New Plymouth. So I returned Friday to New Plymouth. So I went Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, worked in Auckland. Drove back Friday. I'd done a couple of hours Friday afternoon. I didn't do Friday night here just because of the long drive back home. I thought I would do a couple of hours. And then Saturday I done from morning to, it was only a couple of days ago, I think 8 o'clock, 9 o'clock at night. So not even into the nightlife. And then Sunday I'd done from 4 p.m. till like 8, 7 or 8. Very short time on Sunday. My plan was not to have to come home and drive, but because I had such a trash 4 days up in Auckland, I needed to really try and boost my loss. Try to get out of my loss. So in Auckland, I drove for 23 hours over those 4 days, and like you're probably thinking, man, you could have done more. And I was like, yeah, I could have, but I was like getting nowhere. Like I could just see the fun of burning money opposed to driving around Auckland stuck in traffic. So 23 hours in the 4 days, and I made $433.75. So that worked out to be $18.85 an hour. And it's like, don't get me wrong, I've had days here in New Plymouth that the pay has worked out to be very low like that. But this was a big major city. You know, like, what is it? 2/3 of the New Zealand population live in Auckland. Of course, you got DD and Bolt as a competition up there, and obviously all the taxi firms and private taxis and that. But yeah, the slice of the pie is very thin up there. And then I came home, like I said, and I worked Friday, a couple of hours Friday, you know, afternoon, early evening, most of Saturday, and then a little tiny bit on Sunday. And I only worked 15 hours in those 3 days. Excuse me. And I made $475.15. And that was a $31.67 an hour rate. And I was not stuck in traffic. Admittedly, we had some real beautiful weather here. So a lot of people were out socialising, obviously. Sunday was probably a bit busier than normal with just, I don't know why, there was nothing on, but just really, really good weather. We're getting close to Christmas, so we're getting a lot more people probably doing work functions and that. But I never saw that up in Auckland. And so to make money up in Auckland, you'd have to be part of a, like a group, you know, there's got to be a group of you doing it or so. I don't know. If you're an Uber driver up in Auckland, let me know, how do you make money? How do you put one foot in front of the other? Because I was just constantly going backwards. And yes, I didn't know the area, but in the app you can look at statistics of what area of Auckland, because it's broken up into 5 areas, what area is busy at what time, and even then that's no help. Like, it's no help at all. So don't know. Like if the prices, like I'll share with you the way bill shortly, but if those prices end up filtering their way down into New Plymouth, it's like we're not going to make money. And maybe that's why the price difference is here, because New Plymouth is smaller. I don't know. Be interesting to see other Ubers from around New Zealand, what your way bill's reading. Like, what is Uber's charges? Oh, there's a siren, ambulance. Yep, they're in a hurry. Someone's hurting. Anyway, I'll just read to you I'll try to get the way bill up here. So we'll go New Plymouth ones first. So we've got a base fare of $2.25. So that's kind of like a flag fare. You know, when you flag down a taxi, you get that flag fare. This is the base fare. You charge $2.25. $2.25 the moment you book Uber, and then we get paid obviously Uber's mapping system works out how long it's going to take the trip, and we get paid 42 cents a minute for that trip, and we get $2.06 per kilometre. Oh, fire brigade now. So between the base fare and the per kilometre rate, you know, that's pretty fair. That's pretty good. Up in Auckland, it's very different, considerably different. Now the base fare is $2.35, 10 cents more. Ain't gonna break the bank. You're not gonna retire on that. The per minute rate, you know, the Auckland one should be up here now. The per minute rate, 31 cents per minute. Now I completely understand that being lower than us, because you are spending a lot of time just sitting in traffic. But the kilometre rate, $1.40 per kilometre. Like, are you serious? Like, to run this car costs the same up in Auckland as it does down here. Maybe a little bit more because of fuel pricing. But I mean, that's ludicrous. If they're saying the kilometre rate's cheap, well then the minute rate has to be higher because you're sitting in traffic longer. I don't know how Uber's worked that pricing out. But it'll be interesting to see your way bills from around New Zealand. What's the different rates? I honestly thought when I first started this, I saw a way bill, and because we can only ever check the last ride, that was the Uber fare, like New Zealand wide. I thought that was a bill, you know. Obviously not. Obviously it's different through regions. Was it lower because I'm not registered in Auckland? Well, was it lower because I'm registered here in New Plymouth and they're punishing me for... But then that would make the rides cheaper for the rider. Because they're what they're charging the rider. And then obviously Uber take their cut off the top of that. But yeah, what are your thoughts on that? Like going to a big city and struggling. And I know my way a little bit around Auckland. Like, I'm not lost when it comes to regional parts, you know, like Papakura, Manurewa, Manukau, although I'm not lost getting to those areas. I'm lost when I'm in those areas, as in, you know, this street or that shop. But that's what Maps is for. Maps gets you there. And then you drop them off deep into a suburb and, like, geez, you don't remember all the turns and that you took to get there. So getting out was an issue. That's why I had my phone set up on Google Maps to get me at least heading back to where I wanted to sit if I didn't get any rides. So I don't think that was a major issue. I think so what's that? That's 66 cents a kilometre difference. And it's funny too, because I was getting these rides and it was giving me how long it was going to take and the distance, because we're on blind, you know, I don't get to see the fare up front. Still blind fare for me. You know, I've only been to it, 9 or 10 weeks, and in your head you can kind of work out the distance, the time, and what kind of coin you're going to get. And I was kind of working that out, you know, like, oh yeah, that'll be $16 or something. Drop them off and it's like 9, and a few rides done that, and that puzzled me, and that's why I went to the way bill, and I'm like, hey, how? Like, why? We are in the same country, it costs the same to run a vehicle, but yeah, Uber's way of, I guess, I don't know, I don't want to say it, but I guess the more Ubers that join, the cheaper Uber can make their pricing, because now there's so many more people wanting that very, very thin slice of pie. And Uber just keeps making it thinner and thinner and thinner, and we just keep getting hungrier and hungrier and hungrier. And maybe we'll see that in New Plymouth. If we start seeing an influx of Uber drivers, maybe we'll start seeing the way bill start dropping. I don't want to say it, but that's what it's kind of looking for. If you've got any insight onto that, you know, just drop a comment below and just let me know. Or if you're maybe South Island or Wellington, or I know Wanganui's just launched not long ago, Palmy, where else, Whangarei, these newer places that are launched. Just click on your way bill and have a look, and just, you know, if you're comfortable, you don't have to, but just chuck a comment below on what your way bill's reading, because this is interesting figures to see how Uber's pricing's working here in New Zealand. If it got below, you know, so we're at $2.06 here. You know, if it got below, I'd say if it got below $2, I wouldn't be struggling, but I'd be questioning whether I continue doing this full time. If it got below, excuse me, if it got below $1.80, I'd be like really questioning, do I keep this app going? Like $1.40 a K, you can't. Yeah. Anyway, so I gave it a go. Very let down. Didn't go to plan. So now I'm just back home Ubering, you know, making money now. I should have just gone up to Auckland and just grabbed some money out of the account and just slowly burnt it. At least then I wouldn't have been stuck in traffic. But anyway, give it a thumbs up, subscribe. Look, steering wheel in the way. Give it a thumbs up, subscribe if you like it. And any ideas of what you want to see or what you want me to discuss about, you know, I'm pretty open. I'm not going to hide anything from you guys. This is transparency, and I think that's what we need to know, is if you're looking at getting into this kind of gig work, is you want the honest truth. You don't want buttered up media hype or you know, a campaign hype that they push. You want to know grassroots, feet on the ground kind of stuff. So yeah, give it a thumbs up and a like, subscribe, and share it. But yeah, comment below, please. And yeah, I'll just put both those way bills up side by side so you can look at them side by side. And yeah, you shake your head too. I'm sure you are. Rightio, until the next one, stay safe. Sun shining, beautiful weather, ka kite.